Hello, Parkhurst. I wanted to give you an update on a brilliant resource that we've put together for you. But before I talk more about that, I want to just share one or two other things that I've been thinking through as we facing this 21-day lockdown together. I've been wrestling in my own heart and engaging with lots of people, and I think there's a few ways that we can be responding at the moment. And the first and maybe the easiest way is to respond with fear. There are many people who are deeply anxious about what's happening and what could happen, and maybe some of you listening to this are just feeling completely overwhelmed with everything that's going on. You're worried about those who are close to you, who you love. You're just nervous about our nation, around the world, the economic instability. There are so many different things that can breed fear and anxiety in us at this time, and it's so easy for our hearts to run down that road of fear, thinking that God has left us, that things are out of control. We've lost the illusion that we were ever in control, but it's easy now to just feel completely overwhelmed and almost paralyzed by the fear and anxiety that this virus is bringing with it around the world. Another way that we can respond is with frustration. And as I'm engaged with some people, and even with my own heart a bit, it's easy to just feel like our freedoms are limited now. We can't go for a run or a ride. We can't take our dogs for a walk. We can't get out the house. We're going to be locked down. And I don't think it needs repeating, but I want to encourage you to follow the government's orders and just stay at home. But we don't like having our freedoms curtailed. And some people are responding as if they're toddlers who've had their toys taken away and just stamping their feet and shaking their fists at the heavens. And I want to encourage you and remind you what Tim Keller said. There's a moment in this for us to think. It's a way that our idols are exposed. He says, whenever you want to know what your idols are, imagine them being taken away or haven't taken away, and see how you respond. And that's how you know what your heart truly worships. And it's a good season for us to pause and think, what do I love the most? If it's taken away from me here, it could be a growing point for us in our walk with the Lord in this. And I want to speak particularly around another way we can respond, and that's in faith. I think as the people of God, as Jesus followers, it's our time to respond with faith. God has not let the world go. He is doing what He wants to do. He is sovereign over all of these things. The Holy Spirit is at work in the world, in the nations of the world. But He's not only at work there, He is at work in us. And He wants to be at work in our hearts, in mine and yours, and particularly as we slow down, as we go into this 21 days. I think there's a lot of richness and a lot of gold that's going to come into our walk with the Lord as we slow down and as we have time to be pursued by God more and to pursue Him more and to lean more into the growing of our faith. And I want to encourage you to be people of faith, to be praying, to be trusting that our good God knows what He's doing. He is shaking the world, but He is up to something, and there's going to be a lot of fruit that comes through this. There's a lot of devastation, there's a lot of loss, there's a lot of grief, and that's why we need faith. We need to believe that God knows what He's doing in the midst of global, worldwide suffering, devastation, and loss. God has not let us go, and we need to keep our eyes and our hearts fixed on foundational truths in seasons like this. As we head into this 21 days of lockdown, the resource we've put together, you'll find at parkhurstcommunitychurch.co.za/lockdown. We've called it Looking Up in Your Lockdown. And it's a time for us just to set our eyes and our hearts again on Jesus. Like I said, we're privileged. We have the time. Many of us are privileged to have the time now and the freedom and the resources to invest in our relationship with God. Many don't. And I want you to be mindful. I want to encourage you to be mindful that there are many, even in our church, medical professionals, healthcare professionals who will be going the extra mile in these coming weeks and months, serving on the front lines. And I want to encourage you to pray for them, to reach out to them, love them, encourage them and other people providing essential services. Let's just overwhelm people with kindness and with our love and with our support. But as you spend time, many of you at home, I want to encourage you to go to that webpage, have a look at all the exceptional resources that we've gathered there, and use them to strengthen your faith. This is going to be a tough time for everyone. It's going to be a particularly tough time for some of us. And I want to encourage you to reach out to people. I want to encourage you not to isolate yourself. If you're part of a community group, make it a daily habit to reach out to somebody in your group. Get on the phone, get on WhatsApp. Let's reach out, let's check in on each other, let's encourage, let's see how everyone's doing, let's see how we can meet needs, and particularly be there for one another as the church. And if you're not connected to one of those, contact us so we can, even in this season, we can connect you with a group of people. You'll find connected to this post and on our webpage a WhatsApp number. If you're needing care, help, support, if we can assist in any way, please reach out to us. Please don't be silent. Reach out to us. We'd love to help where we can in meeting needs and providing help and care and love. Can't wait for us to be able to be together again. And until we are, please know that we are praying for you. We love you deeply, and we're longing to see God glorify His own name in His amazing way through all of this. Much love to you all, and see you soon.